Good evening. My name is Ebony Langford Brown, and I'm the Director of Academic Programs. I'm joined by my colleagues, Jeannie Franklin, Director of the Department of Consortia Choice and Application Services, and Angela McLean, Executive Director in the Division of Teaching and Learning. In this session, we will focus on the proposed 6 regional model for academic programs. As we get started, please let us know who is joining us by completing the short survey that's on your screen. We have held time at the end of the presentation for questions. Please use the Q&A feature to capture your questions along the way. We will address questions at the end, as many as possible during this session, and post responses to others on the Academic Program Analysis website. In addition, translation services are available. Please look for the globe on your device to access those services. Next slide, please. During this session, we will explain the 6-region model, as well as why MCPS is proposing it. We will share the updated and improved models that were shaped by feedback. We will also provide details about some of the programs to help clarify our current thinking and where we are headed. We will wrap up the session with responses to the questions posed in the Q&A feature. I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Franklin for the next part of our presentation.
Can we go to the next slide with the by the numbers? Great, thank you. So Jeannie Franklin, thank you for joining us this evening. So I want to start off with a little quiz, maybe on a piece of paper or on your phone. You can write the numbers 1 through 6. And if you see the numbers on the screen, you will see that these numbers may match one of the statements to the right. So what we'd like you to do is just read them and then try to match the number to the statement that you think best fits the answer. Number 1 is 27. Number 2 is 2027. Number 3 is 2000 plus. Number 4 is less than 10. Number 5 is 90. And number 6 is 35. The statements read, A, the number of full-time 9th grade full-time programs. B, the number of high schools MCPS will have in 2 years. C, the number of grade 8 students in a wait pool or wait list for a regional countywide program. D, the number of Northeast and Down County Consortium grade 8 students that applied to the Poolesville Global Ecology Program in 2024. F, the percent of students attending their local high school. E, the year the proposed regional model and new boundaries for 50 secondary schools will take place. So if you could just figure out which of those statements match the 1 through 6, we'll look at the answers at the end. Can we go to the next slide? So equity and opportunity matters. So what do we mean when we say equitable access? Well, our goal is we want to stop fighting for seats using this model. There will be more to go around as we expand access with the regional program model. We are planning for both increased access and increased interest. We know there are highly able and talented students in every corner of this county. We want to ensure opportunity is not the privilege of the few. One of the most critical aspects of this work is also strengthening our local high schools. This is the most important of this work because most students attend and graduate from their home high school. These regional programs are supplemental options for students because it is cost prohibitive to try to replicate all of these programs in each high school. Next slide, please. So what evidence do we have to inform our work? Well, we listed a few of these on the slide for you, and we have presented many of these at the Board of Education presentations. So each year, there are about 2,000 or more students on a wait list or wait pool for a regional countywide program. We just don't have enough seats. And then some of our most sought after countywide high school programs tend to be dominated by students in 3 high schools. When assessing some of our longest standing programs and their transportation, one program has 24 buses servicing it, and one of our programs has no transportation. We have 25 high schools, and of the 25 high schools currently, there are 9 schools that have no regional or countywide program. Therefore, students elect to go out of their school for specialized programs that might not be available at their school. And one last item, some students in our county have 3 opportunities to access the International Baccalaureate program, and some have only 1. So this is some of the information that we use to inform some of this work that indicates that we do have some inequity, and this is an opportunity for us to correct that. I'd
Thank
like to
you.
turn it back over to Ms. Langford Brown.
Thank you. So what is the proposed regional model? MCPS is focused on strengthening all of our high school pathways and opportunities. MCPS is proposing a 6-region model for academic programming to begin in the 27-28 school year. High schools will be grouped into 6 regions, each region including 4 or 5 high schools. In each region, students will have access to a parallel suite of programs and transportation. Next slide, please. We know that 90% of our students choose to complete high school at their home school, not participate in regional programs. Ensuring that the academic program at every high school is strong is another essential part of this work. The program analysis design team, including a mix of 70 people representing community and family members, industry partners, and school-based staff, identified the critical components of strong instructional programming and student experiences that should be available in all high schools. The team recommended that all schools offer parallel advanced coursework, for example, ensuring calculus is available in every school. To support this vision, we are focused on ensuring students are well prepared for advanced courses through strong foundational instruction, providing a well-rounded course progression that allows students to explore their interests with both breadth and depth, expanding the use of distance learning to close access gaps across schools, and offering an authentic research experience as a part of the student's academic development. The MCPS project team recommends that business, finance, and entrepreneurship pathways be offered at every high school, given the strong student demand for these areas and for financial literacy. Next slide, please. The next portion of the presentation is to share the regional program themes that will be available to all students and which high schools we are proposing to host them. Next slide, please. These are our regional program themes that all students should have access to. The themes were developed in collaboration with the design team, who used information from over 10,000 individual feedback submissions from students, staff, parents, and community members. Our first theme is medical science and health. The focus of this theme is preparing students for careers in medical and health services. Our next theme is science, technology, engineering, and math. Pathways in this theme will ignite curiosity while students solve real-world problems through innovation and experimentation. This theme will include the well-known and high-demand science, math, and computer science criteria-based program currently offered only at Blair and Poolesville high schools. We also have the International Baccalaureate, Humanities, and Language theme. Within the Leadership and Public Service theme, students will develop the skills to lead, teach, and serve their community. Possible pathways in this theme will include leadership, education, and law and criminal justice. In the Visual and Performing Arts, Design, and Communication program pathways, students will channel creativity into performance, dance, and innovation while preparing for college and art careers. These themes may be divided among schools to build on existing school assets and better serve students. For example, International Baccalaureate in Humanities, each at a different school in the region, or music-related performing arts at one school and dance and theater at another. It's important to know all schools will also retain their strong local programs. While we're expanding regional options, we're not removing opportunities at your local high school. Next slide, please. Here's an updated map of the 6-region model, which includes Woodward and Crown high schools, which are scheduled to open in 2027. This regional model reflects the most recent change where Damascus and Quince Orchard high schools switched regions. Damascus moved to Region 6, and Quince Orchard moved to Region 5. This was adjusted due to boundary needs. As a result of this change, we needed to do realignment of the regional programs for all the schools in those two regions. And just a reminder that we will get to the questions. I see that some are popping up in the chat, and we will get to the questions in the Q&A later in the presentation. Next slide, please. A few things to know before we review the most recent program themes by school and regions. Currently, there are 9 high schools that do not offer regional programs. Another item to be aware of when we look at regional programs is that middle school programs are being added to each region. We currently have 2 located at Northwood and Northwest, where both of those programs have had large interest and long waiting lists. We use this information to inform expanding middle college. In addition, I wanted to share how programs were matched to schools. The first step was looking at the school assets, what they already had in terms of art facilities, existing regional and countywide programs, existing career and technical programs, and less commonly taught languages that were being offered. We also included feedback from the design and MCPS project teams. Local school principals also provided feedback to inform placement decisions. Additionally, we considered application and enrollment program data from the regional and countywide programs. Let's take a close look at each region. And ask Ms. McLean.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on a Wednesday evening. We appreciate your time. If you've been following this work at all, this slide is going to look familiar. But as Ms. Langford Brown explained, some of the program themes by school have changed. I want to just orient you to the slide. I will go through each region, but I'll spend a little more time on the first region. So on the left column, you'll see the school names of all the schools in Region 1. In the center column, you will see the regional program themes, sometimes more than one at each school. And then the right-hand column, you'll see local pathways at the school, because those local pathways are important to our strong local schools. They remain at the school. You'll see some samples, sample programs, and if you want to see them all, and we will be posting these slides on our website for you, you'll click the More Pathways Here link, which will take you to the MCPS program dashboard. That's your best place to see all the programs at each of these schools. You will click on the link, select a high school, and then choose programs, and you can see everything there. So we wanted to make sure you knew how to see everything at your local school. So this is Region 1, and you can see that in this region, the performing arts strands are divided over 2 schools. For example, Einstein High School will build on its strong music program with a criteria-based music pathway and continue its existing countywide visual arts center program as a regional program. And at the same time, Northwood will build on its assets to offer the dance theater and technical theater pathways. At the same time, Einstein will continue to offer a local international baccalaureate program and add a regional program in medical science and healthcare. Whitman High School will have humanities and languages, and by languages, we mean a couple things. Access to those less commonly taught languages that are more challenging to offer at every school, but also within the humanities, an opportunity to kind of concentrate on language as a focus area in the humanities. Whitman will also continue to offer its Leadership for Social Justice program, which is an existing regional program. Northwood High School will also have a public service pathway and will be the site of the Regional Middle College, which is a dual enrollment program that is focused on earning an associate's degree. I do want to note that you'll see in the science, technology, and math theme, you're going to see science, math, and computer science. And that is the science, math, and computer science criteria-based program that we currently have at Blair High School and at Poolesville High School. And we would like to expand that grade program to all regions. In addition, you'll see a technology eye, and that's a placeholder. In all of our schools offering this program, we're hoping to offer an interest-based program as well. And we're still working with the schools to determine what those pathways would be, but it might be engineering, programming, cybersecurity, or machine learning and data science, which is our AI program, or it might be a combination. So you'll see that throughout, and that's a placeholder for some exciting interest-based programs that we're looking to make part of this. Next slide, please. So here we have Region 2 at Blake High School. You see all of the arts. Blake is in a great position to offer all of the arts programs, so they'll all be offered there. It will also be a site for a regional middle college program. Paint Branch will host the medical science and healthcare program, as well as leadership and public service. Springbrook will host the science, technology, and math, which includes the science, math, and computer science criteria-based program, as well as a regional international baccalaureate program. And Sherwood will be the location for humanities and languages. Next slide, please. So Region 3, at the new Woodward High School, you'll also see the full suite of arts programs and the proposed addition of a middle college program for that region. You'll see medical science and healthcare as well as international baccalaureate at Kennedy High School, humanities, languages, leadership, public service at Walter Johnson. And at Wheaton High School, you're going to see a great example of what we mean when we say parallel programs. So Wheaton will be the school in the region for science, technology, and math, including the science, math, and computer science criteria-based program. But at Wheaton, this program will incorporate their very successful and sought-after engineering and biomedical science pathways as well. So a parallel program with a lot of great opportunities for students at Wheaton. Next slide, please. Region 4. We're going to talk a little bit more about Region 4 later in this presentation, but here you'll see, I think it might be the only region, you'll see the arts divided up over 3 schools to best leverage the assets in those schools. So Richard Montgomery, which now has a countywide international baccalaureate program, will host that program for the region and also include the performing arts, dance, theater, technical theater programs. Rockville will be the site for medical science and healthcare, as well as leadership and public service, and will be the regional location for middle college. Winston Churchill will have humanities and languages, as well as the visual arts and design. And Wheaton will host the science, math, computer science criteria-based program, as well as the technology interest-based program, and performing arts, the music pathways. Next slide, please. So in Region 5, Ms. Langford Brown talked about recent changes to Regions 5 and 6, where Damascus High School and Quince Orchard High School were swapped. And as a result, we made some changes to best distribute the programs across this region. You may also be aware that there's some conversation, if you happen to see the board meeting or some of the coverage afterwards from October 16th, that there's some discussion of Crown becoming a holding center. And if that happens, we will be returning to Region 5 to make additional changes. So what we have now is that Crown is the location for medical science and healthcare, as well as the dance program. Magruder High School will have engineering and their aviation program, as well as leadership and public service. Gaithersburg will be the STEM program themed school with the science, math, and computer science criteria-based program. Watkins Mill will offer international baccalaureate, as well as become the middle college site for the region. And Quince Orchard will offer humanities and languages, as well as the performing arts, music, theater, and technical theater pathways. Next slide, please. And so Region 6, of course, has had significant changes because of that swap as well. But you can see here that Seneca Valley, in addition to maintaining its career hub programs for students, will be an international baccalaureate regional site. We'll have performing arts and dance, theater, and technical theater. Clarksburg will host medical science and healthcare programs. Damascus will offer performing arts, music, and communication, as well as leadership and public service. Poolesville will continue to offer the science, math, and computer science criteria-based program, humanities program, and global ecology programs that they currently do offer at Poolesville. And Northwest will offer a technology pathway with engineering and be a middle college location for that region. Next slide, thanks. Okay, so What will our great regional programs have? Great regional programs engage students in in-depth coursework aligned to their interests and future opportunities, connecting what they love to learn with what they can do in the world. They give opportunities to connect classroom learning to real-world application, ensuring our students gain the knowledge, skills, and experiences needed to succeed in college, career, and life. Experiences in these programs begin in grade 9, with select subject area courses taken together, such as taking the same biology class together in the medical science pathway. And that allows the teacher to infuse pathway and program experiences into the classroom. 9th grade students will also have opportunities to the extra and co-curricular activities that are part of the pathway. We want our students to know by the end of the first year if that's the right pathway for them, and we also want them to feel like they're part of the program and part of the community from the start. In our regional programs, students can earn college credits, industry certifications. They have third-party verifications, which means that they take AP and IB exams. So we have external validation of the quality of instruction in our programs. Great programs foster a supportive learning community where students are known, challenged, and encouraged to grow through mentoring, advising, and shared experiences. So by blending academic rigor and career relevance, programs empower students to make informed choices about their futures and to pursue personally fulfilling pathways in life. I'm going to turn it over to Ebony.
Thank you. So let's take a closer look at what the regional model may look like for a student. Next slide, please. As stated, Region 4 includes 4 high schools: Richard Montgomery, Rockville, Churchill, and Wooten. An 8th grade student in this region has many pathways to success. Let's talk about Anita. Anita is a rising 9th grade student whose home school is Churchill. In Region 4, she finds she has an abundance of choices, some at her home school and others within a reasonable distance. At Churchill, she has access to meaningful learning experiences, including dual enrollment, broadcast media, and computer science. She also has access to the school's local technology, engineering, and math signature program. Anita wants to be a doctor. She considers the signature program at her home school and the science, math, and computer science program at Wooten. She would like to pursue science classes with a medical focus. She ultimately decides to apply to the medical science regional program at Rockville High School because she likes that it's both college and career prep focused. She will have the opportunity to take accelerated science courses and earn an industry recognized credential, and that she will have 2 classes with program students who have similar interests and goals. In a moment, we will share additional information about the program Anita selected. Next slide, please. Families, students, staff, school leaders, and board members have been asking for more details about the program pathways at each school. Staff in the Division of Teaching and Learning have been working with school-based staff to develop comprehensive plans for each of the pathways. Program teams visited schools to view the facility and to work with staff in the existing programs to learn not only what the programs consist of, but also what makes them special beyond the courses. The pathway plans for each program theme consist of 8 components. 1, a vision statement for each theme that outlines the focus and objectives. 2, program goals for the theme with specific goals in 3 categories: developing knowledge and skills, providing hands-on, real-world experiences, and fostering college, career, and community pathways. The 3rd component includes identifying the pathway as criteria-based or interest-based. Criteria-based means that students must meet certain standards or academic markers to be eligible for the pathway. Criteria are based on a variety of data points and will be explicitly identified for each pathway. All students who apply and meet the criteria will be eligible for the program and will be put in the lottery for selection. Interest-based programs are open to all students wanting to pursue the pathway. All students who submit an interest form will be placed into a lottery for selection. Next slide, please. The 4th component includes the course sequence for each pathway. The team also outlined the list of co-curricular and extracurricular opportunities for students in the pathway, including things such as field trips, showcases, competitions, internships, and work-based learning opportunities. The plan also includes the metrics that will be used to evaluate the success of the program. Metrics include academic measures, enrollment retention and completion data, attainment of third-party validation such as industry-recognized credentials, student and parent satisfaction via surveys and exit interviews, and teacher feedback on a variety of factors, including professional development needs. I'd like to pass it to Angela to go a little bit further in depth into one of our program pathways.
Thank you. So to illustrate some of the components that Ms. Langford-Brown shared, we'll take a look at the Medical Science and Healthcare program, which on the whole is a new program, but it's really built on existing rigorous courses and kind of medical-focused career courses. So the vision of this program is to prepare students for healthcare careers, to let them explore the careers and develop the science and technical skills that will help prepare them for additional study or the workplace. This is the program for future doctors, future nurses, medical researchers, your clinical healthcare providers and technicians. And the curriculum is equity-driven, provides rigorous learning. Also, very important, providing students with hands-on real-world experiences to apply their knowledge. And ultimately, these students will have a positive impact on the community. Next slide, please. So here are the program goals. The goals are similar across all of the programs, but we want to develop foundational knowledge and skills. So there's a strong academic foundation in biomedical science, the standard-based curriculum and coursework, those hands-on real-world experiences, experiential learning through labs, simulations, clinical experiences, internships, and working with industry partners, and foster the career and college and community pathway. Support our students who are seeking that post-secondary education or careers in this field. And so along the way, they can earn industry certifications, take college-level courses, and network with professionals in the field, giving students real options in this pathway. Next slide, please. So the medical science and healthcare theme has both a criteria-based, meaning there are admissions requirements pathway, which is called biomedical science, and interest-based, which I'll share in a moment. So this is a criteria-based sample biomedical science pathway. And so you can see that the blue courses are your core courses for the program. This is the biomedical pathway. Before we look at the courses, though, I want to point out the grade 6 through 8 column. Middle school students are exposed to various experiences to get them thinking about their future, including career advising, and even learning about their own career personality. Are you a more hands-on type of person? Are you detail-oriented, artistic? Are you inclined to work with people in a supportive way? And these things help our students make choices about what programs to apply to or what courses to register for in high school. So in grade 8, they start registering for high school and thinking about what they'd like to do the next 4 years. So if students apply to this program and they're invited, this would be their 4-year course sequence. The pathway courses are light blue, and the white courses are the core courses required for graduation. In this example, the school hosting the medical science program is also an international baccalaureate school. Perhaps it has a local international baccalaureate program. And so as a result, the higher level courses utilized in this pathway are international baccalaureate courses. And if this pathway was at a school that did not have an international baccalaureate program, these would be advanced placement or AP courses. So this outline gives you a picture of what their 4-year experience is. You'll see, especially initially, the word cohort next to some of these courses. And that's where the kids in the program take the course together and, in the same period, class period, same teachers, and they begin to develop relationships, but it's also allows their teachers an opportunity to make those interdisciplinary connections that strengthen the program. Next slide, please. One thing I want to point out before I talk about this slide a little bit more is that it's important to know that programs are going to be developed and rolled out over a 5-year time period. We have the next year and a half to really do some deep planning, to work with teachers and leaders who host programs or similar programs, or are going to be teaching and hosting those programs, to ensure we have a good plan, we have time to get our teachers trained, and we'll be rolling out the programs 1 year at a time. So in 2027-28, the 9th grade program will begin. And for these students in the interest-based clinical healthcare pathway, that will begin with a biology class that integrates foundations of medicine and structures. So students would be together learning their biology, their required biology content, but also infused with the medical science experiences in the course. Students in this pathway take courses to become certified as a certified clinical medical assistant. You'll see there's 3 courses there. And that is an industry recognized credential. This pathway could instead include certified nursing assistant, physical rehabilitation, or pharmacy technician, or a combination of those. So there are a lot of options there. One thing, I'm sorry, can you go back one, Karen? I apologize. One thing I wanted to point out about the interest-based pathway, you saw in the criteria-based pathway that the students started at with a particular science and kind of math progression. But in the interest-based pathway, there's more flexibility. You'll start your language where you come in, you'll start your math where you come in, and same with your science. So it's a more flexible pathway. And one of the nice things about offering a similar criteria and interest-based program together is that if you're in the clinical healthcare pathway, and you're progressing through your studies and you want to take a higher level class, they're there. They're there and they're related to the program theme. Now, next slide, please. Thanks. Excuse me, my voice. So students in these pathways gain hands-on experiences, professional credentials through internships, clinicals with partners such as Holy Cross Hospital, National Institute of Health, University of Maryland, and they can earn industry-recognized certifications like the Biotechnician Assistant Credentialing Certification, the Clinical Medical Assistant Certification, and these certifications are the same certifications earned by adults out there in the field. So they let us know that our students have knowledge and skill at the professional level. And these experiences, they'll also build their professional skills through organizations like Skills USA or HOSA, and working with folks in the field, in the professions, as mentors, as guest speakers. So immersed in the program theme. And these experiences build community, while they also prepare students for success in college and career. And next slide, please. So every program will be monitored and evaluated using multiple measures. This includes the 4-year program rollout time period, so that adjustments can be made as needed to ensure the programs are successful, and then ongoing as the program continues on and continues to grow. And some of the metrics that we'll look at are enrollment and retention, our students joining and completing the program, the earning of industry recognized credentials, assessments, if there are required IB or AP courses in the pathway, we'll be taking a look at that data to see how students are doing. But also surveys, student and parent surveys to assess the satisfaction of our students who are in the program. I'll turn it back over to Ms. Langford Brown.
Thank you. Next slide. If you're interested in seeing more descriptions of program pathways, you can use this QR code to see the pathways available in Region 4. There you will see the vision statement, pathway goals, criteria and interest-based designation, course sequence, co-curricular and extracurricular opportunities, and the evaluation metrics for each pathway. Next slide, please. Here's a visual to help you follow along with what will be happening as we implement the proposed regional model. On the left, you will find the class of students, and you will follow it along the timeline using the school years at the top. Let's start with our current grade 8 students. You will see they are the class of 2030. This class will remain in the current process and graduate from high school in 2030. Let's look at the current grade 7 students. This is the class of 2031. This class will be the first to be impacted by the new regional model in 2027. Why? Because MCPS admission processes start the year before the program begins. So families of grade 8 students in 26-27 will receive information about their local high school and regional program offerings that are available to them. When they enter high school in 27-28, they will be the first group of students in the new model, indicated by the orange shade. You will see in the same year, there are grade 10, 11, and 12th grade students who are finishing up their high school plan in the current model. So this chart shows that beginning in 2027, there will be 3 years of transition where the current model is phased out and the new model is phased in. To honor our current high school students, even with the changes in the boundary, if a student was assigned to a consortium high school, they can remain in their assigned school. And that is applicable to the Down County Consortium, which includes Blair, Kennedy, Wheaton, Einstein, and Northwood, and the Northeast Consortium, which includes Blake, Paint Branch, Springbrook. Another group of students who will be able to remain in their assigned school are students who are invited to attend a centrally managed regional or countywide program. These are the programs available on the high school common application. Next slide, please. So we'll be getting to the questions in the Q&A feature, but we want to go over a few frequently asked questions. First is, will local high schools continue to offer local pathways if they implement a regional model? And the answer is yes. Next is, does my student have to apply to a regional program? No. Regional programs are optional and your student may remain in their home school. Next is a rising grade. Is rising grade 9 the only entry point for regional programs? No, there will be additional on-ramps to enter the program beyond grade 9. Will aviation at Magruder High School be available as a regional model? Yes, the aviation program may continue as an interest-based regional model. Lastly, for this slide is, will the countywide programs remain? Countywide programs will become regional programs. Next slide, please. These questions are specific to the Down County Consortium and Northeast Consortium. Will my student go through the DCC NEC choice process? No. Starting with our current grade students in the 2027 school year, they will be assigned to their regional high school, to their local high school in a region. Next, what happens to the existing local signature academy programs? Several local academy programs have been the anchor to the schools within the DCC. The school will determine if the current programs will continue within their scheduling model. Next, is the regional program model a choice process like the Down County or Northeast Consortium? No, the regional model is not a choice process. Can students apply to a regional program after starting high school? Yes, there will be on-ramps for students beyond grade 9 to apply to programs. And will the DCC and NEC discontinue? Yes, the DCC and NEC will evolve into the regional model. Okay, a few more before we get to our questions. Next slide, please. So what's to come between now and late November? We will continue community engagement and we'll continue also to engage with our internal partners to finalize and refine the programs for each region and the pathways for each school. This finalized proposal will be presented to the Board of Education in November, with a vote being taken in March on both the proposed regional model as well as the boundaries. We're providing our best thinking around the programs today, and we will go back to the board with a final draft next month. Next slide, please. So before we go to questions, I'd like to review the answers to the by the numbers shared at the beginning of the session. First, the number of full-time ninth grade full-time programs is 35. The number of high schools MCPS will have in 2 years is 27. The number of grade 8 students in a wait pool or wait list for a regional or countywide program is 2,000 plus. The number of Northeast and Down County Consortium grade 8 students that apply to the Poolsville Global Ecology Program in 2024 is fewer than 10. Next, the percent of students attending their local high school is 90. And lastly, the year the proposed regional model and new boundaries for 50 secondary schools will take place is 2027. Next slide, please. Thank you for those who added questions to the Q&A feature. We have over 100. Some of them are very complex, but we also see some themes. We will answer as many as we can now in the next 10 to 15 minutes. For those we're unable to answer due to time or to the complexity of the question, we will post responses on the academic program's website. So I'd like to open it up to our colleagues to start answering some of those questions.
Thank you, Ms. Langford Brown. So I see quite a few interesting questions. So let's take a few. One question says, won't the data of program usage be obsolete once the new boundaries are in place? How can we create a data-driven solution when the data will immediately be different? So I think this is really interesting. And I think I agree that this is going to be a challenge or an interesting challenge for us. But one thing we do have regarding the trends of data that we have over 20 years of data that has shown us where students apply, what programs they apply for, where they actually enroll, and what programs they complete. And although this new model is going to look different, we do recognize that there are common values and beliefs that our community has. Our community values different programs. They value the offering of transportation to access those programs. And we also have great interest in both criteria-based and interest-based. And so those pieces of information has informed this work. And what will be really great about this work going forward is as we build a new norm with this new model, we'll learn from that and continue to expand and contract. Annually, we'll have a continuous improvement process where we'll look at the enrollment, we'll collect feedback from the students in the community and the schools to determine how things are going. And so that's exactly what we're going to do in this new model. So it's really exciting, a new way to approach by expanding access. In addition, there was a related question about number of seats. And are we really increasing the number of seats? So we are. We anticipate that we will likely double the number of seats overall in the programs when we're going from, for example, 2 science, math, computer science programs to an additional 4 for a total of 6. So we do anticipate that there will be at least a doubling of seats, and in cases there might be more. But to also provide some feedback about numbers of seats, we are also proposing to have criteria-based programs are likely going to start with 60 grade 9 seats, and then each year we roll up with an additional 60. And for our interest-based programs, they will range between 15 and 30. And to that point, we just want to remind you that our proposal includes a minimum number. Should we have more space and we have more interest and there is space in the buildings, we'd like to offer more students opportunities in those seats. However, and we just want you to know that the boundary study is designed to address the overutilization in many of our high schools. So we have this opportunity to expand and contract as we're going into this process.
One of the questions that I've seen is what determines what region a student will select a regional program from, and that is determined by your assigned home school. So in every region, there are 4 to 5 schools, and students assigned to those schools would apply for the regional programs in that region. There was also a question about what's interest-based versus lottery. An interest-based program is a program that doesn't have prerequisites. You can apply to it because you're interested in the program, and where a lottery comes in is if we have a limited number of seats. So in that case, a lottery would be utilized, but it is our goal as this rolls out to expand seats as demand requires. It might not be perfect, but that, our goal is to have abundance and not have limitations. There's another question about, does the expansion of middle college impact dual enrollment opportunities already in place in the district? And it does not. Dual enrollment courses, that the opportunity to take a course from our partner at Montgomery College for both high school and college credit remains an option at every high school. There's a program that's called Jumpstart to College, and students connect with their DEPA, their dual enrollment coordinator at their school, to access these courses. Middle college is a degree path, an associate's degree path, and in that case, you would take more courses and you would prepare for them, and that's why we have the 6 regional locations. Our 2 middle college locations right now at Northwood and Northwest High School have wait lists and are in demand. So we see this as a great opportunity to expand that opportunity for our students.
So I see this question here. More community and teacher input would be helpful before the plans are finalized. Is there any way to quickly expand access for all students who don't have that to advance equity and inclusion goals, while also taking more time to design and plan this effectively and equitably? Well, we agree that we are going to gather more community and teacher input. We have our program team, very excited and also very talented group of members putting together these plans and responding to exactly what you're asking for. And that information should be more available in November for the community and the Board of Education. But again, in the slide deck that we're going to be posting on the program analysis website, you'll have an opportunity to glance and review all the different frameworks that are available for Region 4. And that'll give you a sense of what is being designed. And that's also a great place for the community to give us feedback, as well as our teachers and our school staff. So we're looking forward to engaging in that work and perfecting this going forward. So there is a question about how will we ensure the teachers in the programs are certified and qualified. So this has definitely been a theme where we have learned from our schools, finding teachers to work in these work with specialized content in these areas. So as you see, we are having a combination of both criteria-based and interest-based career and technical education programs, as well as theme advanced enriched programs. So there's a whole host of opportunities for students, and we definitely have many talented teachers who we anticipate will be very interested in this specialized curricula. So we have some time, which is going to be a really good thing. We have a lot of time. First, we start with the school staff at the building, and we also match them up with professional development should there be great interest and additional support. One of the things that's going to be very helpful for all of these programs that exist already is that all of our regional county ed programs have a program coordinator that is there to help support the teachers, the students, and the school community regarding the content and the curriculum and the outreach. So we are looking to these program coordinators to also support the development and the professional development. The really interesting thing about having 6 regions is that we will also be able to coordinate professional learning communities among our teachers. In some cases where we have only one program, There are some challenges to providing a professional learning community. So the 6 regions is going to definitely be helpful in having teachers be able to plan together during professional development and also learn together.
Just a quick logistical question answer. Folks are asking where they can get the video and the slides and can see again the schools and program themes. And we will post those on the MCPS website. And there is a programs analysis page, and we will, after the meeting, maybe not the second after the meeting, but we really will post those things there so you can take a closer look at them, spend more time with them.
I think we answered this during the presentation, but I just wanted to make sure we clarified the difference between an interest-based program, or what is an interest-based program. Interest-based programs are for Montgomery County students. You can be a private school student and request to participate in the admission process. And you just have to be grade eligible and a Montgomery County resident, and then you apply within your region. There was a similar question asking, how do you know which region you should be applying to? If we can show the map again, the region will be based on your high school cluster. So every student has a high school to which they are assigned based on their address. So that's what you will know. So let's just take a look at the map. If your high school cluster happens to be Damascus High School, you would be in Region 6, and that's in the green shaded area. Or if your high school is going to be Sherwood based on your address, then you're in Region 2. What that means is that Region 6 and Region 2 and all of the regions will have comparable programs within those 5 big themes. And although the programs might not be identical from region to region, there will be a leadership program in every region. There will be a medical science program in every region. There will also be a performing arts program in every region. Now, they might be a little different. They might not be identical, but they will have the same program theme.
Here's a question I think impacts a lot of our families. I have a 6th grader and a student in 8th grade. My 8th grade student will already be in high school when this rolls out. Do I plan where he goes based on this or what is currently offered? And the answer to that is what is currently offered. Because if you are in 8th grade now and you apply and are accepted to a regional or countywide program, our proposal is that you remain for the 4 years until high school graduation. So there will be a transition period where where we're shifting and we're rolling in the new regional programs, but we want to make sure that our students who are in programs can finish.
There's a question about criteria-based programs and what does that mean? So in our current model, we have a variety of programs that are criteria-based, such as our science, math, computer science programs at both Poolesville and Blair, the Richard Montgomery International Baccalaureate program, for some of our students eligible for the Project Lead the Way program at Wheaton in engineering or biomedicine. Those are programs that have a variety of criteria, academic criteria. So we say those are multiple measures. They generally include grades from certain classes, potentially the MAP-M or MAP-R scores. We also may consider some brief responses that students submit, and a rubric is used for a committee that evaluates all of the students who apply to a program and determine who are the students who have the greatest need for the program. So that is a model that we currently use. There is no additional testing that's being used for this, but as we explore and benchmark with other systems, we will provide information in the fall about what that admission process will look like. But criteria-based means that it will either be multiple measures used for some of our programs or a portfolio, such as used for the Visual Arts Center. And for our performing arts, which is going to be a new regional program, we're looking at possible auditions or submissions that way. And we will be working with our program team to determine that piece of information. But those are some of the elements that we're looking at.
Sure. I want to acknowledge that there are several questions around access to engineering, in particularly Region 1, but engineering in general. And, and I can see why, because our program matching slides there, we have the technology as a placeholder. And I do want to say that, and this is the same thing came up during our meeting earlier today, that information is an example of feedback that we'll take back to our team who's designing the programs. And assisting with determining the final pathways by school. That's important input. And there will be opportunities in the next fewer than 30 days. We're going to do 6 regional in-person meetings, and there'll be opportunities to provide feedback not only on the region's model, but on the programming. And so we hope to see you there as well.
There are a few questions in the chat, in the question and answer, asking about the Down County Consortium and how the Down County Consortium model currently has a choice process where students get to rank order choices of a high school based on the academy programs at the school. And in as much as that has been such a celebrated model, we are definitely taking advantage of all the success that the Down County Consortium has offered and the Northeast Consortium has offered. Many of the pathways that exist in those schools will remain should they continue to have student interest. And we also want to build upon the model of the smaller learning community where students are grouped together and able to work with teachers and counselors and the content to have a very vibrant experience in school. And this work did not go into looking at the Down County Consortium and Northeast Consortium, discontinuing them. Quite the opposite. We wanted to look at how can we ensure all students across all of our county have access to program. The Northeastern Consortium and Down County Consortium involve only 8 schools, and we have 25 schools. And going forward, we're going to have 27 schools. So we really want to look at how we can open access for programs that students are interested in and not have transportation be a barrier. So there was a question about transportation, and what we want to indicate using that map that you just saw, that there will be neighborhood transportation for students to attend their home high school, in addition to central stop transportation, where students will be able to take transportation to another school in the region, should they be invited to a program.
Thank you both. We have about 3 minutes before our session ends today. So next slide, please, slide 37. So as we wrap up this session, I would like to provide a few resources. For more information, please visit the Academic Program Analysis website. There are also web pages with information specific to the families in the DCC and NEC. Next slide, please. Thank you for your time and questions. Please complete the survey linked in the QR code to give us feedback on this session. We will be hosting regional in-person meetings starting October 30th, going through November 21st. Our communication team will send the dates and location for each regional meeting in the upcoming days. Again, thank you for your time, and we will conclude this evening's webinar.